This video is going to review the shape and center of distributions. Some of this information will be covered in more detail next class. So the first word that we use to describe distributions is symmetric. And a symmetric distribution, I'm going to be using histograms to illustrate this, would look like the left side and the right side are mirror images of one another. So the histogram would look something like this, where the left side and the right side are mirror images, if you were to draw a line of reflection down the center. So it does not always have to be perfect. Sometimes we'll say, like with the US population distribution later in class today, even if it's not perfectly symmetrical, we'll still call it symmetric if it is close to symmetric. An important thing to know about a symmetric distribution, which we'll cover more next class, is that the mean of a symmetric distribution is equivalent to the median of a symmetric distribution. The other type of distribution that you'll be looking at is skewed left. So a distribution that's skewed left has more data on the right side of the distribution. A little bit weird to get used to, but skewed left means it has like a tail to the left. So it could look something like this. Anything where the bulk of the data is falling on the right side of the distribution. So we'll say more data on right side of distribution. And the way that statistically we can tell if a data set or a distribution is skewed left is when the mean is less than the median. All right, and then you might be able to guess the last shape, the last major shape is skewed right. And skewed right means that there is more data on the left side of the distribution. So I remember I always had trouble remembering this because it seemed counterintuitive to me. So one way to think of, for example, one way to think of a skewed left distribution is that it has a tail to the left. So if this is like the back of an animal or a dog, you can think that this is its tail to the left. Skewed right, more data on the left side. Could look something like this. And since it's skewed right, it's going to have a tail to the right. So those are the three major shapes of distributions. The very last thing I want to think about is mean. So we're going to think about this more next week, but for now have in your notes. In statistics, we think of the mean as a balance point of a distribution. So what I mean by balance point is that the mean is the place. For example, the mean might be somewhere here in this distribution where there's an equal amount of data on the left side and the right side. So it's like the balance point of the distribution. And when the distribution is skewed, this is the last key fact, mean is not a good measurement. So when a distribution is skewed, mean is not a good measurement because the distribution is off balance. Instead, you use median. All right, so move directly into the practice problems. Thanks.